Hi! I'm so happy to vlog today because I had craziest month and just didn't have any energy to make a video. Now I do though. First of all, I had a lot of work, pretty busy period. Also the fact that March in Edmonton is really cold and snowy doesn't help the overall mental situation. You know, in summer when you can just go out, go for a walk, enjoy the warmth, things feel a little better, but there is something so emotionally difficult about having winter in March. It's beginning of April when I'm filming it, and even though it's melting outside, there is still snow lying around, so I personally don't feel very comfortable to go out. There are days when it's windy, cloudy, and it's still overall cold, so we're not there yet. I really don't want to be the person who complains about the weather, but when you know, you know. I'm really well adapted to harsh winters since winter in Ukraine is a thing. It's pretty rough, but yeah, these extra months of cold, I don't think they help anyone. If you watched some of my previous vlogs, I've been sharing some info about my back struggles and the fact that I did have 2 really bad back spasms throughout this March. Really didn't help. I work from home and I really had to work more than usually, and if you've been dealing with back aches, in my case it's mostly about the lower back. When you have strained muscles in your lower back, it really doesn't help to sit. It makes things even worse. And this time I decided not to go and see a chiropractor because the previous similar situation happened when I slipped on the parking lot. I think it was in February, and I went to see a chiropractor right away. And my general idea is that it didn't really solve the underlying cause. It did just help with symptoms a little bit, and it turned out to be a temporary relief. So I just decided to give it some time and feel so much better now. My plan here is after we move, and yes, we do move to Calgary from Edmonton. After we move, I might try physiotherapy because I've been doing that back in Ukraine. It's more of an effort and a commitment than just going and seeing a chiropractor. However, my understanding is that it might help long term. Yeah, it kind of sucks to be this relatively young person who struggles with their back. It feels like an issue that people would probably have at a later period in their lives, but I mean, these are just the cards I was dealt. I've been struggling with my back since adolescence. It's something I will have to learn to manage throughout my life. I was also thinking to add some vitamins meant to help your joint health. We'll do a research about that first. Another thing intertwined with not the healthiest back of mine is that it didn't used to happen that often, but in my case, it also might have something to do with stress, because you might have noticed it on yourself. When you're very stressed, you feel more clenched, and sometimes when I'm very angry or upset or anxious, I might get to the point when my lower back clenches that much that is just gonna result in a long-lasting spasm. It's just sad. And speaking of coping mechanisms, one of the things that has become more of a coping mechanism since I moved to Canada is spending. I do spend more money mostly on clothes, and I feel like it's a very Canada/USA kind of coping mechanism because it's so much easier to spend here because of those rapid deliveries. I don't think that is something I was inclined to before moving to Canada, but especially here during winter, it's so much easier to just order something out and feel this temporary stress relief. This is not something I personally would like to positively reinforce in the future, but I'm aware of that. One of other stress coping mechanisms I've always had in my life is eating. It's become better overall, and at some point I might make a video about my weight struggles and how it's been over the years and how I got to the point where I am. It's been with me for my entire life, and I feel like during this winter I've been eating more than the previous year. Unfortunately, this is also one of the things I tend to stick when things are just not as smooth as I'd like them to be. The point here is that understanding your coping mechanisms is important because this awareness gives you a chance to change something about them. I'm trying to manage those. Aside from high workload, not the most pleasant weather, this is also tax season. Doing taxes for me is just such a stressful thing because the system in Ukraine is completely different. A couple of years in, it seems quite understandable to me, but I still have this pressure of doing something wrong, of not filing something right. So every time I'm just very much on edge, even though I understand that I don't have to be. Anyways, we're through that. Taxes are done. I also try to do them as soon as possible. So like every March for me is the battle of procrastination, and let's just do that as soon as possible. And another thing why this month was so hard is because we're dealing with some immigration matters right now. We hope to get it over with very soon. There's just everything everywhere and so many things to do, so many responsibilities to tend to. It's just difficult. Maybe I'm just being dramatic here, but sometimes it feels to me that adult life is all responsibilities and zero fun. Sometimes it feels like we're done with one thing and let's get to another thing because there's a to-do list constantly. Maybe it's winter and when it's over, I'm just not gonna be as negative about it. Out of positive things that I've accomplished also this month. I don't think I've been talking about that previously in my vlog. I feel like I'm done with my tattoo removal process. This month was my 14th appointment, and hopefully it's going to be the last one. If you've been through the process, I will not be able to know for sure what the final result is until a couple of months in. This is how it looks like right now. It's pretty faded at this point, but it's such a long process and I've been spreading it over the years. I think I'm going to make a dedicated video because it's a process. But anyways, I'm happy that I'm done with this. Out of nice stuff, if you're in Edmonton, I really recommend going to a Chinese hot pot. It's such an amazing experience. They have those tables with built-in stuffs. So you basically make a soup for yourself and there are so many options to choose from. So you can experiment and try different things. The only thing is that your clothes might stink after attending. So just take it into account. If you have plans for the night, you might be stinky afterwards. The first thing I got is these Aritzia pants. I love the style because of this part, but the main reason why I got them was not that. It was the color. I'm matching it with a sweater that I got from Simon's, but my intention was different. One of the very first things I bought in Aritzia was this. And when I was buying it, I actually wanted to get a matching set of pants as well. However, as it often happens with their limited time colors, you may not be lucky to match those. When I was buying online and saw this color, my first thought was, oh, maybe I'm going to match those. I couldn't have been more wrong, as you can see. Though, I'm happy that I have this piece. It still kinda looks like a set. The second set from Aritzia, it's red. As far as I know, it's also their limited time color. As it doesn't frequently happen with things for tall people, they have some tall pants in limited color. I already had these in green, and these are my favorite pants from Aritzia so far, because if you're tall and you try something made for tall people, you will know the difference. And I'm generally feeling like adding brighter and more confident colors into my wardrobe. Hopefully I'm going to get back to my makeup game and even match it with a red lipstick. I still have this bag I'm gonna throw away now. With Aritzia, there's always this subtle style of photographs they have on their bags. I always appreciate it. Adidas pants. My original intention was to buy a whole tracksuit and a pair of matching sneakers as well. It seems to me that they don't usually have much supply because when my husband was also ordering stuff there, he had to sometimes wait for certain items to match or even not match them eventually because they were just sold out. So I got these pants because for some reason brown color has become my favorite lately. Hopefully I'm going to get notified if they get a matching top. And the story with the sneakers is just sad because I did order them. I do wear US size 10, but this is a weird thing that has been with me over my entire life. US size 10, it's full European size 41. And that is what I've been wearing. However, in Ukraine, first of all, size 41 was not super widespread one. And even if it was, it usually fits smaller. Finding shoes used to be a whole sad story for me. And after moving here, size 10 is a very widespread one. And I mean the full size 10. So it's not gonna actually pinch. But because of this not finding shoes of my size I actually like, I tend to order them a little bit bigger. If I have a chance to order 10 and a half, I will order 10 and a half. And most times it's gonna be too big. And that is actually what happened to me with those Adidas shoes. They were literally slipping off me when I was walking on the walking pad. I feel like I just need to change my mindset about shoes here. Oh, and this is medium, as well as everything in Aritzia is also medium. Lululemon. It's all size 8. These are Align leggings. I already have one of these defined jackets in white. Love it. Though I have it in size 6, and I feel like size 8 just fits a little bit better on me. And funnily enough, I'm so happy that they have their caps in 2 sizes. I think they have small, medium, and large, extra large. And I got mine in a bigger size because cats and caps, they're kind of a issue for me. And if there is a chance to size up, I just do that. Love the color. I think it's marine blue. What do you think? And the same in red. Align, define, size 8. I did say I'm going more for red this season, so I actually am. Last but not least, I did order some more of these Amazon Basics velvet hangers. I did make a video about rearranging my closet and using these wonderful velvet hangers before, and I absolutely love them. I feel like this system I came up with the last time, meaning I did color arrange my clothes, but I did not separate it by season. It actually works for me because over several months, I didn't have any issues with keeping my clothes arranged this way. So I'm just going to continue with the system and I cannot be happier about it. Let's do some arranging. Sometimes I think it's about the visual pleasure more than about wearing all of that constantly, because I honestly don't, unfortunately, and I think I should focus more on wearing things rather than just buying. But I think it's also the fact that winter is really long here and you cannot technically wear all of that. Love it. If you watched my entryway closet organization video, you do know what these are. And I think that this is another organization system that finally worked for me because my entryway closet has been very neat since, and everything just looks so good. Also, Easter was in the beginning of April. Stas made, I'm not sure how it's called in English. Let's call it Easter bread. In Ukrainian, it's called Paska. Usually it's sweet bread. However, I'm not much into sweet food, so I asked him not to make it sweet. And I think he's done a great job. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to. Bye.